Thank you for putting me on the spot. And thank you also for such a passionate and interactive discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll quickly move over to the panel discussion. I'm going to call on the panelists, Dr. Fauiza Shamim, Professor Andrew Goodwyn, Dr. Sabiha Mansoor, Mr. Ali Raza, and of course, Professor Taylor, who's already here. And to moderate this discussion, I'm going to call on one of my old teachers and role models, Ms. Tina Hameed.
All right, as a moderator, my job is going to be to tell you what the process of this panel discussion is going to be and to introduce you to our panelists and just make sure that everyone keeps to time. So it's basically just looking busy and doing nothing. I'm going to begin with introducing Dr. Sabiha Mansoor. On my right is presently the professor and dean at the Beaconhouse National University, Pakistan. She has a PhD in education and a master's degree in TEFL from Reading University, UK, along with a master's degree in English literature from the Punjab University. Welcome, Dr. Mansoor. Okay, she can do it in 3 words.
Fauiza Shamim, a teacher, teacher educator, and a researcher. And a learner, most of all.
And is the professor and chairperson of the English Department of English at the University of Karachi. Earlier, she has worked as a full-time faculty member at the Aga Khan University Institute for Educational Development in Karachi. Welcome, Dr. Fauiza Shamim. I am going to say nothing about Dennis yet now. I'm going to skip to Professor Andrew Goodwyn. He's currently head of the Institute of Education at the University of Reading. He's an expert on first language education as well as teaching. He has taught in schools for 15 years before joining the universities to lead teacher education programs. And our last panelist is my most favorite person in the Beacon House, Ali Raza. Has had strategic thinking and results-oriented professional experience in the corporate and development sectors for the past 17 years. Has worked on varied projects ranging from technical, civil engineering to management of multi-dimensional social and natural resources-based initiatives. Currently, he is the regional director of the Central Region. I'm now going to tell you how we are going to run this. I'm going to beg the presenters, the panelists, to take no more than 3 minutes, and I'm going to be brutal with the time. I have it all set on my mobile here. And we will begin with Dr. Mansoor, and then Dr. Shamim, to Professor Goodwyn, and Mr. Ali Raza, and then we'll come back to Dennis Taylor. And they are going to, I'm going to ask them to share with us their impressions on the debate and the presentation that Dennis has just shared with us. So, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Sabiha Mansoor.
Thinking about we as being a part of the audience when we sat in the first session, and now with the presentation that Dennis has just presented, I think together we have to make meaning of it, because I see a lot of colleagues here, some students, some peers, some mentors, and I feel that, you know, we're hearing all these wonderful things. What does it mean for us? And I also understand that in this classroom there may be BSS, majority I think are BSS teacher educators or teachers, but there's also I think a representation of the public sector. So I just wanted to maybe just make 3 points which I think are very relevant in the context of what's being done or discussed today. The first is, I want to extend this philosophy of education, this modern approach to education in the following way. What does it mean to us at an individual level? What does it mean to us as Pakistani citizens? And what does it mean to us as citizens of the world? Just quick 3 things. At the individual level, I feel that whatever they're saying sounds easy, it's not easy. You know, it seems very easy, it's not easy. I say that because I've been in the field for 37 years. I know that I started as a typical teacher, a Pakistani teacher, and I'm identifying here with now even the public sector. You do your master's in literature, you're expected to go and teach English language. And you do it as you are the most important person in the classroom. It has to be absolutely silent. Have you performed well? Did you make a good impression? Did you look good? Did you talk well? And all those things about yourself. And then you move on, as some of us have done after training, to making our classrooms more teacher-centered and things that Dennis has talked about. But I think that I just want to take it a little forward and what Dennis touched today about the discovery, which I think is the third stage. And I think that you arrive at it. It just doesn't suddenly happen that you come out of, a teacher training program and you become, the perfect teacher educator where you can go and construct knowledge together with your students and, you're all happy discovering knowledge together. I wanted to share that I think I have come full cycle. I started in a completely structured manner. I went off to training to the UK to do my master's, came back, and then I found that I was focusing on student-centered, interactive classrooms. But at the same time, what was happening was that really it was still about my achievements. It was, am I really doing it the right way? And today, I think that I have reached the point where I feel I'm learning so much from my own students. And I'd like to share with you a session I did on language and gender just last week with my master's, they're doing the MPhil in applied linguistics, and this was a class on language, culture, identity, and gender. And I had a female, wonderful colleague who wears hijab, and all you could see were her beautiful blue eyes. And she actually presented, they were supposed to do some presentations on the excerpts in literature they liked best and, try and look at, why and what the relationship was with gender. And she came up